Coming up on the Ravens Rundown, Ravens general manager Eric DeCosta said some interesting things about Lamar Jackson and his looming contract extension, which is one of the biggest storylines in the National Football League. So this is a reminder to all Ravens fans out there that if and when Lamar signs a contract extension, we'll be the first to let you know, in addition to year-round news and rumors on your football team. So if you want the best Ravens coverage here on YouTube, the solution is simple, folks. Just hit that red subscribe button down below, or in a separate browser, let this video roll and go to youtube.com/RavensTV. All right, welcome into the Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Chase Senior. Hope all of you are having a fantastic week. Coming up on today's show, Eric DeCosta said some really interesting things about this Lamar Jackson contract extension, which is really going to be a massive news item for the Baltimore Ravens and could be a historic contract over the history of the NFL. Here's what Eric DeCosta said from the NFL Combine in Indianapolis, quote, "I think it takes two sides to actively put their heads together and get a deal worked out. We are ready to be there for Lamar at any point. When he decides that he really wants to work on it, we will be." So from what Eric DeCosta had to say, my read on this quote and this situation is that the Ravens are willing to pay Lamar Jackson, but Lamar hasn't really been invested in some of these contract negotiations, or he just thinks that the offer on the table right now isn't really making his services worthwhile. Now, we've talked about this a couple of times here on the Ravens Rundown. Lamar Jackson has a very unique situation in terms of his agency. He's not represented by an agency. He doesn't have Drew Rosenhaus, the power agent, at his disposal, or a Scott Boras at the Major League Baseball level. Instead, Lamar is kind of heading these contract negotiations. He is his own agent, and he uses his mom to help him in some of these conversations as well. I'm not sure if that's a holdup in this, but if I were giving advice to Lamar Jackson, I actually don't hate that he doesn't have agent representation. Look, I'm an on-air talent, right? I've always tried to handle my own to secure the bag for myself because I don't want to pay 10% of my salary to some agent out there. Now, that percentile figure is obviously different for professional football players, but Lamar, he's a very confident cat. We know that he has some swag. He's very confident in his abilities on the football field, and he probably looks at his situation like, why should I give my money to somebody else so that I can get paid? My play on the football field shows that I'm one of the most unique talents in the history of the National Football League, and instead of using an agent, let me just use Mama Dukes. She can help me in these contract negotiations. Now, we're going to continue to break this down, but first, I want to hear from you. Ravens flock in the comment section right now. Will Lamar get an extension this offseason? This is your opportunity to hop on board and join the show. Here at Chat Sports, we're all about the audience engagement. Think of it like a sports talk radio call-in line. On the radio, you call in. Here on YouTube, you chime in the comment section. Y for yes, N for no, you let me know right now. As far as Lamar goes, he is such a special and unique talent that we've really never seen before. I mean, he runs like Michael Vick, but he's a better passer than Michael Vick, and he's a better all-around player than a guy like Randall Cunningham, and is much more elusive than a player like Donovan McNabb. You even look at some of the talents at the quarterback level nowadays, like a Josh Allen or a Justin Herbert or a Patrick Mahomes. Lamar Jackson offers a completely different and unique set of skills, passing the football and running the football. You take a look at his numbers that we're filtering through the screen, he can really just thrash defenses in a variety of ways, and I think that actually helps him in some of these contract talks, because he can go to the negotiating table with Eric DeCosta and say, look, nobody has literally done what I've done before ever in the history of this great game, and as the game has changed, having a quarterback who is a dual threat quarterback is even more valuable now than it used to be. So the league is moving in this direction, and I've been ahead of the wave. I've kind of started this new trend, or at least I've made being a mobile quarterback cool and more valuable, and I've been leading the charge. So because of that, I deserve to get paid for my services. Also, Lamar Jackson is the only quarterback in the history of the NFL with 2 games with a perfect passer rating. So we think about Lamar Jackson as a runner, but he's much more than that. And each year, he's gone into the offseason, or in his rookie year, he went into his first campaign, and everybody said he has this weakness. But every offseason, he has addressed that weakness. First, he wasn't a thrower. After his first year, he wasn't consistent enough or accurate enough. He worked on that. Then it became, he's too much of a runner, not enough of a thrower. He needs to be a better pocket passer. This past year, I thought he showed really good pocket awareness. Now, at times, does he take off and bolt out of the pocket a little bit too quickly when he feels the pocket break down around him? Yes, but at the same time, he has that innate ability to see things before they transpire on the football field, and he knows and has confidence in his legs to pick up some of these massive plays. Next up for the audience right now, if you want Lamar to be the franchise quarterback moving forward, this is what I want you to do. You see that thumbs up icon below? Smash that. If you want Lamar Jackson to be the starting quarterback and the franchise quarterback of the Ravens moving forward, you can't go with a guy like Joe Flacco any longer, and Lamar was much more exciting than Flacco, even though he did bring home a Super Bowl, and that Super Bowl run was great. I'm hitting that thumbs up icon to like the video because, man, Lamar Jackson is exhilarating on the field. Now, how much is Lamar Jackson going to get paid? Here is a list of the highest paid quarterbacks per year in the NFL right now. Patrick Mahomes on the hook for $45 million in base salary. Josh Allen, after his contract extension last offseason, on the hook for $43 million. Dak Prescott making $40 million average annual value. Then you look at Deshaun Watson at $39 even, and Russell Wilson at $35 million. Now, if you're embracing debate and you're comparing Lamar Jackson to a Russell Wilson or a Dak Prescott, I think you have an argument that Lamar Jackson is a better quarterback. I'm not going to put him ahead of Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. I think they're freaky. And I think people have forgotten how good Deshaun Watson is with a bad team with wide receivers 2 years ago who are probably now working at the defunct Kmart. He had a masterful year. But comparing him to Dak and Russell Wilson, I think Lamar Jackson is in that class. Ryan Clark the other day had something interesting to say about Lamar, and we covered this here briefly on the show the other day. Ryan Clark wants to see Lamar Jackson get paid, of course. He said that Lamar deserves $40 million, and he believes that Lamar Jackson should not lace up his cleats and walk on the football field until he is paid at least $40 million per year. So if you were Eric DeCosta, and on the other side, if you were Lamar and Mama Dukes, what is the most amount of money per year that you would pay to Lamar Jackson? Give me some dollar figures in the comment section. If you really want to get creative and you want to be a future GM like I kind of was as a kid, I wanted to study sports management, then I realized I'm pretty good on air and I can't shut up. As evidenced by this video, I decided to go journalism. But if you want to be a future general manager, get some contracts in the comment section and let me know, given the information we just showed you. And while you're down there, do not forget to subscribe. We're bringing you Ravens videos all year long on the latest news, rumors, and when a big news items like this happens, we have you covered right away.